What if the secret to saving our planet wasn't some new green technology, but something way more shocking? What if we could fight climate change by copying one of the most destructive forces in nature? A massive volcanic eruption. It sounds insane, but some scientists believe we can literally build a planetary sunshade, dimming the sun just enough to stop global warming. But here's the terrifying question. What if this ultimate solution breaks our world beyond repair? Could our last-ditch effort to save the planet be the very thing that dooms it? So why are we even talking about something this crazy? To put it simply, we're running out of time. Our planet is overheating, and it's happening fast. We're seeing it everywhere. Record-breaking heat waves, melting glaciers, and weather that gets more extreme every year. The cause? We all know it's the greenhouse gases we keep pumping into the atmosphere. Imagine our atmosphere as a bathtub. For most of human history, the carbon going in was balanced by the carbon going out. The water level was stable. But now we've cranked the hot water tap to full blast and the drain is clogged. The tub is filling up and it's about to overflow. We're all trying to turn that tap down by cutting emissions, but we're not doing it nearly fast enough. So, in their desperation, some scientists started looking for a second tap, a cold tap. A radical, dangerous idea that comes directly from the Earth itself. On June 15, 1991, Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines exploded with unbelievable power. It was the second biggest eruption of the 20th century, a disaster that shot a plume of gas and ash straight into the stratosphere. But amid all the destruction, scientists noticed something wild. The volcano had blasted over 17 million tons of sulfur dioxide into the upper atmosphere. This gas created a thin, hazy layer of particles that spread around the entire globe, acting like a giant sun shield, reflecting sunlight back into space. The result? For the next year or two, the planet's average temperature actually dropped by about half a degree Celsius. Nature accidentally showed us that it's possible to cool the whole world. And this wasn't a fluke. Back in 1815, the eruption of Mount Tambora was even bigger. It led to 1816 being called the year without a summer, causing crop failures and chaos across the northern hemisphere. These disasters, as terrible as they were, gave us a shocking blueprint. If a volcano could cool the planet, could we do it on purpose? The idea is called stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, and it's basically a plan to copy Mount Pinatubo, but with control. The concept sounds almost simple. Use a fleet of special high-flying jets to spray a constant stream of tiny particles, like sulfur, or maybe even diamond dust, into the stratosphere about 12 to 30 miles up. These particles would create a permanent man-made shield to reflect just 1 or 2% of the sun's heat back into space. Now, nobody thinks this is a real replacement for cutting emissions. Everyone agrees this isn't a cure for our carbon problem, but more like planetary CPR. It's not meant to fix the disease, just to manage the deadly fever while we find a real cure. The hope is that it could buy us precious time, stopping us from crossing tipping points we can never come back from. The reason we haven't deployed this global sunshade is because the list of what could go wrong is a nightmare. We're talking about messing with a chaotic system we barely understand. And the consequences of a mistake could be way worse than the problem we started with. First, this wouldn't cool the planet evenly. Some models show that trying to cool the whole globe could completely mess with weather patterns. It might disrupt the vital monsoons in Asia and Africa that billions of people depend on to grow their food. In our attempt to save the world, we could accidentally cause biblical droughts and famines. Second, we'd be trading one huge problem for another. Those same sulfur particles that block the sun could also wreck the ozone layer. After Pinatubo, the ozone took a temporary hit. But a continuous spray could create a permanent chemical reaction that eats away at the shield, protecting us from the sun's most dangerous UV radiation. And maybe the biggest issue? This does nothing about the carbon dioxide that's causing the problem. It's like taking painkillers for a broken leg. The pain might fade, but the leg is still broken. Ocean acidification, which is caused by CO2 dissolving in the water, would keep getting worse, killing coral reefs and destroying ocean life from the ground up. But here it is, the single biggest risk, the one that keeps scientists up at night. It's called termination shock. Once you start spraying these aerosols, you can't stop, ever. The cooling from the artificial shield would be hiding the warming from all the greenhouse gases we're still putting into the air. And the longer we spray, the more warming we're hiding. Now, imagine we're forced to stop. A war, an economic collapse, a massive natural disaster. anything that grounds that fleet of planes. That man-made sunshade would disappear in just a couple of years, and all that hidden heat would hit the planet at once. Global temperatures would skyrocket faster than anything modern civilization has ever seen. The sudden shock would be so violent that ecosystems, farms, and societies would have zero time to adapt. It would be a global climate whiplash, a catastrophe we might never recover from. If we start, we aren't just committing ourselves. We're committing every single generation that comes after us to maintaining this fragile, artificial life support system forever. This leads to the final and maybe the most impossible problem. Who gets to decide? Who gets control of the Earth's thermostat? Right now, there's no international law for this. Which country gets to set the global temperature? What happens if the US starts spraying and causes a drought in China? Or what if Russia decides a little more warming would help its farms, even if it means flooding Bangladesh? The potential for conflict is terrifying. This technology could become the ultimate weapon, allowing one country to hold the world's climate hostage. The debate is already getting ugly, with some politicians trying to ban it while some corporations want to rush ahead. It's a power struggle that could let the rich and powerful control the fate of the entire planet. So what does this all mean? This wild idea of copying a volcano perfectly captures where we are right now, a mix of incredible genius and total desperation. It proves we have the power to engineer our entire planet, but it also shows we have no idea if we have the wisdom to do it right. The truth is, solar geoengineering is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's a temporary, unbelievably high-risk gamble that could create a whole new set of disasters. The real priority has to be what it's always been: cutting our emissions for good. The idea of a quick fix is tempting. But this is a deal with the devil. A cooler planet, but in return, a future where we are permanently chained to a fragile system that could fail catastrophically at any moment. So we have to ask ourselves, do we want to be the forever managers of a planetary machine, always one step away from disaster? Or do we want to be people who actually fix the problem and learn to live on our planet? The choice is ours, but the clock is ticking. What do you think? Is this a crazy idea we should never touch? Or is it a last resort we have to consider? Let me know in the comments below. And for more videos that dive into the biggest questions about our future, make sure you hit like and subscribe.